Alright boys, so to be honest, I'm kind of surprised it took me this long to actually do this, but someone in one of my groups on Facebook posted a picture of his Grom with these are mirrors here. They're not bar ends, they come off, I think, off the actual mount. I think these are like little brackets or adapters or whatever that come right off those, but they stick out to the sides a little bit more, it looks like, and they're a little sharper, I guess. They're not so round and tall and obnoxious. So I figure I'll give these a shot and see how they come out. Alright, so let's see what we got. Alright, so these, I guess you would call these adapters. They all look the same to me. They all look the same. I could be wrong. My guess is, depending on how many of these you use, is how far out they'll stick. So you can use more or less depending on where exactly you want it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll figure that out. And these look 100 times better than the stock ones. And for $20 off Amazon, literally next day shipping, you really can't go wrong. Normally, not to sound like bougie, but I don't exactly like going with Amazon or eBay parts just because of how cheap they feel, but these actually feel and look really nice. I'm a lot happier with these than I expected, so I think they're going to look awesome on the bike. Alright, so looking at this here, like, this is what I don't like, how the stock ones, they just go like straight up and out and even more up, and they're just I mean, even when I look out them, you have to I have to look over my own shoulder just to see what's behind me, and even then it's like I have to almost lean. Like, they're not really that useful, they don't really look nice. So with this one, I mean, I still have to get those adapters on there to see exactly where it's going to go, but even that right there, how much farther it sticks out, it's probably going to be more like this. I feel like it's going to be 10 times easier. I'm going to see way more, and they just look nicer. Just that little angle to it, besides just a straight round mirror like the stock one, I feel like this is going to look a million times better and actually function better. So I feel like I should have done this a lot sooner, but I think it's going to work out really well. Okay, so one thing that's actually going to help with this, since we're messing with, I mean, technically the handlebars are going to be wrenching on these. I don't know if a lot of new riders may not know this. You can actually lock these handlebars. So I didn't know that when I first started riding. One of my coworkers actually told me. So what you want to do, I mean, we're going to assume you just parked the bike. You just turned it off. So you have the key in there. You turn it all the way. I always go to the left. I think you can go to either side, but I'm going to say the left. Go all the way and then turn it just a little bit away from there. Then what you do is you push the key down, turn it to the lock position right there, and then pull it out. And now the bars won't move. And then to release it, you know, when you're ready to ride away, put them in there, just turn it, and now they'll move. So it's a little good piece of information. Like I said, I didn't know that when I first started riding. It's a little hard to do with the camera in hand. What I normally do is I'll turn it all the way, have one hand on the keys, and push down and start turning, and just move the handlebars, and then the key will eventually go into the lock spot once you hit that sweet spot. That's why I'm kind of, let me see if I can, yeah, see, it won't lock right now. I have to go a little bit more out. It's kind of hard to do with just one hand. So go all the way in, add a little bit, lock, and there you go. So a good little piece of information. But I do recommend you do that for this, because that way when you go to turn on these nuts over here, because they're right under the shroud, once you go to turn those, you don't want the handlebars to be moving back and forth. So this way it'll kind of hold it in place. Alright, so it's going to be the same on both sides. At the base of the mirror here, you're going to see this little shroud. Just pull that right out of the way. Now you're going to see these two nuts here. I don't think we're using this little adapter piece. So all you gotta do is just loosen these up. Loosen those until the mirror spins. I mean, I guess if you can get the mirror off without this, you could do that. I don't know if we're using that, but right now I got it. So now the whole thing's just spinning. So that's fine, we'll just get this whole thing out of the way. There you go, mirror's off. Alright, so I kind of completely forgot that these are universal mirrors. So all of these are different adapters depending on what you're going to be putting these on, really. So for some reason, you got to watch. So these three, these are smaller. Those we aren't touching at all. Now these three all look the same. One of them, which is this one here, is reverse threaded. So just make sure when you take them, I mean, it's hard to do with one hand, but when I'm spinning it to the right, it's spinning off. It's loosening. So when I spin it to the left, it tightens. You do not want this one. Just don't confuse it. You don't want to try to put that on and end up tightening it down and destroying the threads on the bike. So what we're going to do, we're going to use these two here. They mount right onto the handlebars, right where we took that little adapter piece with the mirror off. They screw right into that. Then we'll put these on right on top. You have the spring and everything right there. All the hardware's right there. And then these little caps go right in here. That's what it looks like. I'm pretty sure those go right in there, just to give it a little bit cleaner look, and they'll be good to go. Alright, so I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to get the mirror mounted. So this is exactly how it comes out. At least for me it did. I can't imagine it coming out different for anyone else, but it comes basically pre-assembled. Now what you're going to do, take it just like it is and thread it into the bars. I don't know the size of this. I'm just using an adjustable wrench. It looks like it's like a, I don't know, like a 17 or something, but a lot of these don't really fit right. So tighten that down. You don't gotta torque it. Just tight enough. Now, take this nut off. I think it's a 10. It's 3/8 is too small, 9 is too small, but the 10 kind of slips a little, so just be really, really careful. Alright, so now take the mirror. Set the mirror on there like that. Now take your first washer, put it in there, let it fall on the stud. Then you're going to take the spring, drop that in there. Take your second washer, put that on the stud on top of the spring. And lastly is the nut right here. Get that. It's going to be, there's not a whole lot of clearance. Thread it on best you can, and then get your ratchet. You're going to need a 10 mil ratchet. Like I said, just watch, because it does slip. It doesn't feel like a perfect fit on the nut. And again, you don't want to torque it. Just like that. Alright, so you can see I got the new one on the left. The right side is obviously the OEM. And I could tell you, just off sitting here, it's 100 times better. It's wider, it's longer. I could see more behind me. I mean, I could see me in it, but you know, there's only so much you could do. But I can actually see what's behind me. On the stock ones, all I see is my shoulder, and everything besides my shoulder is off the side of the road. It's not important, so I always have to like move around. Now I haven't like driven on the road with these yet, so it's kind of hard to judge, but the field of view is significantly bigger. And as you can see, I have to tighten it down a little bit. It still swings, but if you want to swing it, just leave this nut loose, set it to where you want it, and just torque that down a little more. And then this right here is a little joint, so you can move it a little to adjust it. Overall, I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, it was $20 off Amazon. Like I said, it came, I ordered it last night, I think. It came this morning. It came like, you know, maybe 5 hours ago. Threw them right on. So for $20, you really can't go wrong. Alright, so I got them both on, and I love it. It looks so much better than the stock ones. It still has that kind of same look to it, but these look way cooler than the circle ones. The circle ones I really couldn't stand, but I did like that general style. So with these, it has a better look, same style. So it's the best of both worlds if you ask me. And on top of that, I did find out how you get these on. You have to really screw that nut down. It's I mean, I don't know. I have a 1/4 inch 10 mil. It seems like the socket was too thick, and it wasn't like, it didn't have enough space to get around the nut well, and it was starting to like slip on it. So I mean, maybe you would need like a low profile socket to like really get on there. I have one at work, so I might do that tomorrow just to try to get it down a little bit more. Then these just kind of click in place, but you can even see they're not seated too well. I mean, it's kind of whatever, it's just a look thing, but I do want these on there. I think it looks a lot cleaner, but like I said, it's not the end of the world. I'd rather have them off and not strip the nut than strip the nut and still not be able to get them on right. So, but yeah, I'll leave a link in the description on where I got it from. Like I said, it was $20. I got it the next day. You really can't go wrong.